The Buffalo Bills are staring at a massive disaster that could ruin their championship window right now. The wide receiver position is failing, and the risk of a wasted season is becoming a terrifying reality for every fan in Western New York. We are seeing a critical failure in talent evaluation that leaves Josh Allen without the weapons he desperately needs to win it all. This is an urgent situation that requires an immediate fix before the season slips away entirely. Help me hit our goal of 500 subscribers and leave a like to support the channel and our Bills. Keon Coleman is currently being viewed as one of the most disappointing draft picks in the entire history of the Brandon Beane era. It is a very tough situation because this young athlete was supposed to be the answer to our problems. Instead, we are looking at a player who might never become the star we expected him to be when he was drafted so high. This is a very simple problem with a very painful reality for our team right now. We need a primary receiver who can actually win on the outside and catch the football consistently. We thought we had that solution, but the performance on the field is telling a completely different story. The team is struggling to find explosive plays, and the passing game looks broken because the talent just isn't there. It is the same exact problem we faced last year, and it feels like we are stuck in a circle of failure. Brandon Beane has been criticized for not spending enough draft capital on the offensive side of the ball. He has only used a few high picks on receivers, and most of them have not worked out at all. This lack of investment is finally catching up to the Bills in a way that could hurt our chances of winning a Super Bowl. When you look at the stats in the film, it is clear that this young target is not providing the impact we need. He is struggling to create separation, and he is not making the big plays that changed games for us in the past. This matters right now because the season is moving fast, and we cannot afford to wait for someone who might never develop. We are in a position where we need elite talent at the top of the depth chart immediately. The fans are frustrated, and the local media is starting to ask very hard questions about why this roster feels so thin at the most important position. We have seen this story before where a high draft pick fails to meet the hype, and it leaves a gaping hole in the offense. It is a simple case of a draft bust affecting the entire strategy of the organization. We need to acknowledge that the mistake was made so we can move forward and find a real solution that works for Josh Allen. Denzel Boston is the name that every single Bills fan needs to remember as we look toward the future of this franchise. This incredible prospect from Washington is exactly the kind of player that can fix the mistakes of the past. He is a massive target standing at 6 feet and 4 inches tall while weighing over 200 pounds. This young athlete has the perfect frame to be a true number one receiver in the professional ranks right now. When you watch him play, you see a smooth runner who knows how to use his size to dominate smaller defenders in the secondary. He is often compared to stars like Puka Nacua because of how he uses his body to shield defenders and make tough catches. This young receiver finished his college career with amazing numbers, including 20 touchdowns and nearly 2,000 yards. He is a natural pass catcher who doesn't complicate the game and just finds ways to get open. He fits the team perfectly because he provides that physical presence we are currently missing on the outside of the formation. The Bills need someone who can win the 50-50 balls and be a reliable target in the red zone during big games. This prospect also brings extra value because he has experience as a punt returner, which shows his overall athletic ability and speed. He is a playmaker who thrives under pressure and knows how to lead a passing attack with confidence. He is not just a big body, but a sophisticated route runner who understands how to find the soft spots in a defense. If the Bills can get their hands on him, it would change the entire dynamic of the offense for the better. We are talking about a player who can step in on day one and be the alpha receiver that this team has been searching for. He has the production and the physical traits that translate perfectly to the professional level. Imagine having a target that big who can also run away from defenders after the catch. It is the dream scenario for an elite quarterback like Josh Allen who loves to throw the ball down the field. This young man is the real deal, and he represents the best chance for Brandon Beane to erase the memory of past draft failures and build a winner. This situation matters because the current lack of talent at receiver is going to cause the Bills to lose more games this year. We cannot expect to beat the best teams in the league if we don't have players who can win their individual matchups on every play. The risk of failure is extremely high right now because our offense is becoming too predictable for opposing defensive coordinators to stop. If we don't fix this hole at the receiver position, we are going to see our season end in disappointment once again. This could help them win more games if they finally commit a first-round pick to a truly elite prospect like we discussed earlier. It is about the direct consequence of having a roster that is not balanced enough to support a high-powered passing attack. We are seeing the immediate impact of a draft bust because it forces other players to do too much. When one player fails to perform, it puts all the pressure on the rest of the group to carry the load. This leads to tired players and more mistakes during the most important moments of the game. We need to understand that the season impact of these roster decisions is massive for our championship hopes. If we continue to ignore the need for a true star receiver, we are essentially giving up on our chance to win it all. The fans feel the urgency because they know that the window for success doesn't stay open forever in the professional world. We need to act now to ensure that we are putting the best possible team on the field every Sunday. The outcome is very simple because better players lead to more points and more wins for Buffalo. We are tired of seeing the same mistakes repeated every single draft cycle. It is time for a change in strategy that prioritizes giving our star quarterback the tools he needs to succeed. The consequence of doing nothing is another year of middle-of-the-road performance and early exits from the playoffs. We have the chance to turn this around if we make the right move and bring in a game changer. The direct result of landing a star prospect would be an offense that nobody can stop. That is the outcome we all want to see for our beloved team as they fight for a title. Let's look at the best-case scenario for the Buffalo Bills as they move forward with this plan. If the team manages to draft a star like the one we talked about, the offense will become an unstoppable force. Josh Allen would have a massive target who can catch anything thrown his way, and the points would pile up fast. This would lead to a deep playoff run and maybe even a trip to the big game. But if it fails, the situation becomes very dark for our franchise. The worst-case scenario is that we continue to rely on players who are not good enough and our offense stays stuck in the mud. If we keep missing on these high draft picks, we are wasting the prime years of the best quarterback we have ever had. The tension is building because every decision made right now carries so much weight for the future. If this works, Brandon Beane will look like a genius who finally found the missing piece of the puzzle. But if he misses again, his job could be in serious trouble and the fans will demand a change. Short sentences increase the feeling of danger here. The stakes are high. The clock is ticking. We cannot afford another bust. The pressure is on the front office to get this right this time. We are standing at a crossroads where one path leads to glory and the other leads to total failure. If the Bills pass on a top talent again, the frustration in the stadium will be at an all-time high. We have seen how small the margin for error is in professional sports. One bad pick can set a team back for years, and we are seeing that play out right now. The emotional tension is real for every fan who watches the games every week. We want to believe in the plan, but the results on the field make it very hard to stay positive. If they make the bold move, everything could change in an instant. But the fear of making another mistake is hanging over the organization like a dark cloud. We are all waiting to see if they have the courage to fix the problem properly. It is a simple choice between being great or being average for the next few years. To wrap this all up, the Buffalo Bills are at a massive turning point with their roster and their future success. The situation with Keon Coleman has created a huge dilemma that must be solved by the front office immediately. We have seen the evidence that the current group of receivers is not enough to get the job done at the highest level. The prospect of adding a star like Denzel Boston is the light at the end of the tunnel for this franchise. It is a clear and simple path to fixing the biggest mistake of the recent draft years. But now I have to ask you a very direct and emotional question. Be honest with me right now. Would you trust a rookie in this situation, or do you think the Bills need to make a massive trade instead? We really need your input on this because the community is divided on the best way to move forward. Don't forget that we are trying to hit our goal of 500 subscribers and we need your help to get there. Please hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Leave a like on the video if you want to see the Bills finally get a true star receiver for Josh Allen. Your support means everything to us, and it helps us keep bringing you the best inside information. We are all in this together as we hope for a championship in Buffalo. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about the future of our team. Subscribe today and stay tuned for more news and analysis. Go Bills!